what's next. Life's a journey, never complex. A lifelong student, educators call. Guiding future, standing tall. Conscious parents, info hat on tight. Drove through decades, walked away for rights. From the motion pictures to the cosmic light. Contact D's journey, universal sight. Attention to put the human back to humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Human experience, hang out, come along. Kids, health, synaptic circle, singing our song. Random vlogs, life stories to tell. Each journey a beacon, wishing well. We all have incredible tales to share. Healing, activation, spreading care. Light the way, find the others. What's your mission, sisters and brothers? Attention to put the human back to humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Human experience, hang out, come along. Kids, house, synaptic circle, singing our song. Random vlogs, life stories to tell. Each journey a beacon, wishing well. We all have incredible tales to share. Healing, activation, spreading care. Light the way, find the others. What's your mission, sisters and brothers? Attention to put the human back to humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Rise, humanity, unity we seek. Community sharing, synaptic circle unique. Be the solution, live someone today. Assist in the rise, light the way. May this song lift whoever comes across, and may you do the same, no matter the cost. Spread the light, ignite the flame. In unity we rise, forever reclaim. Attention to put the human back to humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence.
That was a long one. Hi.
That was really a great intro. I love the music.
Thank you.
I mean, it was
I
very
got to
upbeat.
tell you about that. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is episode 18 of the Synaptic Circle. I am your host, Heidi Pop, and I like to synchronize synapses with fellow like minds based on a common theme or thread. And I do contribute my thoughts on the Synaptic Circle. So I'm super duper excited because my pals today are cyber pals. We met online, but our friendship really goes offline as well. In fact, I met Jim in person. I'll be meeting the Fountain soon. And Mr. Terry, at one point we were going to meet in the physical, but we have all established friendships off the computer even. I mean, text, sure, we'll still be on a gadget, but we do connect and we are friends. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Geryl and Jane, Midwest Night Watchers, Shiro Sounds, thank you for being here from Illinois.
Well, thanks for having us.
Who are you? How'd I get in here?
The money comes later. Hi, Terry. How's Oz? How's Perth? Perth, Australia. Wait, that was an Australian.
Well, it's getting cool now. I mean, it is autumn, mind you. It's. I mean, I saw a monkey the other day looking for a welder. Anybody know that any expression? you know. See, look, there's an old sailor's saying, right? On old sailing ships, they had these triangle things, right? Which they sit the cannonballs on, and of course, when the ships go into the northern hemisphere, the brass pyramid-shaped thing will kind of shrink because they're cold, and the cannonballs will fall off. Now, this thing was called the brass monkey. So the old saying goes, it's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Right? Now, it's not rude. It's an actual fact. It's an actual fact, right? Now, the thing is, I saw the monkey the other day looking for a welder. Yes, but
I will remember that one.
Down nicely.
That is a fact. I've heard that know, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Exactly. It's an old one.
Well,
isn't it?
now we know what it means, but you were talking shrinkage, right? I think
Yes.
we got some other ways.
Hey, it comes with age.
Well, welcoming. Speaking of aging at fine wine, Mr. Jim Goodall from Arizona. How are you?
I'm doing just great. From the last time we spoke, I turned
Good.
80.
Woohoo!
Woohoo.
I don't know how I got here. I mean, I wake up in the morning, and that's the start. But I never thought I'd make it this old. And when I was back in Minnesota for about a week here earlier this month, everybody I wanted to visit or see has either passed or moved.
Oh.
And I get an announcement from my Air Guard unit, the Minnesota Air National Guard, weekly of who passed away this week, and I know them. I wasn't necessarily friends or buddies with them, but they're people I knew.
Yeah.
And it's I'm delighted to be this age. I mean, there's a lot of people who've never had that opportunity.
True.
And I know I'm
Wear
going to
it
be
well.
I know I'm going to be around a lot longer. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, can we share? I'd like to share really quick. Well, first of all, hello to this beautiful chat. Speaking of our community and our friends, a lot of our friends are here today. I see you, Geryl. I see you, Bigfoot Dwarf. How are you? Nice to see you over there. And Roger and Blazer. Look at you, peeps. So these are the peeps covering the continental U.S. right now. We'll see who else chimes in here. But speaking of Minnesota, I've got to bring up something and congratulate you, sir, because you weren't there just to visit. You had a
No.
serious major... let's here it comes. Look at you, Mr. Aviation Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations.
And, I mean, I was incredibly delighted and honored, and of the 7 inductees, I'm the only one that doesn't fly an airplane. And the other thing we have, I'm the 6th Minnesota Air Guard person to be in the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame, and I'm the only one that's not a general officer. I'm a master sergeant, retired as a master sergeant. So it was fun seeing some of the people I haven't seen in decades. I retired from the Air Guard in '97. The adjutant general, I see Gene every time, Gene Andreotti, every time I go to Minnesota. We usually stop, always. We'll end up having lunch or a cup of coffee. It's just fun. But it was about 850 people. This was the 30th year. Probably the most well-known member of the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame, and a gentleman who was born in Little Falls, Minnesota, many, many decades ago, is Charles Lindbergh. So I'm in with good company, and I'm really honored to be that. And it's I don't know. It's an honor that almost takes my breath away because it's something I didn't expect. It's something I never thought I would live up to be able to achieve this, but I did, and I'm thrilled and I'm blessed. Good. And I think again, everybody who submitted my name was a general.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
that's incredible, Jim.
So I'm very pleased, and I drove my Corvette there.
Of course you did.
Well, of course.
And for almost 4,000 miles, I averaged 72.6 miles an hour.
Wow!
Now that's a feat in itself because there were days I was just driving around Minneapolis, subsonic, Yeah, but you get on the Interstate 80, these. The speed limit's 80 miles an hour, so I always go 10 over, and I get 2,400. I get 24 miles to the gallon, which I'm not. It's not why I bought the Corvette, but it's my economy car.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Great way to celebrate your 80th birthday by being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was a real honor, and again, I just. It was unexpected. So
that's awesome. That's
And I
fantastic.
drove there. I drove there with Rosemary, as most everybody knows. Rosemary has early onset Alzheimer's,
Oh
and
yeah.
while she was, while she still had most of her faculties and everything else, I wanted to take her on a road trip.
That's
And
awesome.
it was, the first day we went from here to Albuquerque, and a very dear friend, Stu Brown, he was the senior editor at Popular Science when the 1994 issue of On Area 51 was released. And
Oh wow.
they said that it's the largest circulation and the largest reading of Popular Science ever. I think it was 6 million people read the magazine On Area 51.
Wow.
Wow.
And he lives in Albuquerque. He lives in the old town. Michael Stratt is just relocated to Albuquerque. And so next time I go there, I'll have two guys to hang out with.
Ah.
And then last night I was on with Dave Scott and talking with John Ramirez. This guy, I mean, I listened to. I came on about half hour after he started, and I stayed for the next 2.5 hours, even though I was trying to keep my eyes open. It was one of the best interviews I've ever had. And it turns out he lives not more than a half a mile from me. And
Wow.
Wow.
he's a retired CIA guy, specializes in things that go bump in the night. So we're having coffee tomorrow. That's going to be fun.
Hey, great.
And I'll
Great.
have
Talk about, there you go. Some you met online and now you were going to meet in person. That's awesome.
Yeah. That stuff like that's fun. So
That's really fun.
yeah.
Geryl and Jane, you've had a ton of guests. Have you ever met anybody in person? Or
Yes.
other? Yeah. You have?
Yeah, we had one of our guests actually come and spend the night.
Oh wow. Aw.
Yeah. And I think,
With the goats.
yeah, with the goat. I think she's the only one that we met. Is it Geryl?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was just Cindy. Yeah, we had her on, and she was actually in Illinois visiting family. And we had lunch together, and she decided to come to our house, and ended up
She
just
never
talking
left.
and talking and spent the night.
She's still here.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. What about like the conferences and conventions and everything going on? Do you guys make a point to go to those? Australia, I know, has a few. I think at least I try to send them to you when I see them. I know I try on your side of the country, but have you gone and met and mingled at any of these things?
No, we'd like to go to Grafton, but we haven't ever made it outside the state to go to any conferences. So I don't know. Hopefully soon, maybe this year, we'll be able to travel a little more.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody I know in the UFO community, they're always talking heads somewhere, at MUFON regional or national conference. I've only been invited once, and so apparently I don't have anything that anybody wants to hear.
They can't control you. They can't control your thoughts.
I know. I got General Andreotti came up to me after all the hullabaloo was over, and he said, "I don't know how you did it." I said, "What do you mean? You kept it under 12 minutes."
That is a feat.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I really had. I'm going through, and of course, everybody up there they were reading their notes. I don't believe in notes. If it's not up here, if it's not accessible, then I'm not going to talk about it.
I got you.
So I mean, I was surprised too, and I had some comments from a number of other people that they really enjoyed my presentation. How I got where I got.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of how you got where you got, I think we all kind of found each other because of the topics we cover, like the paranormal stuff. I think it's been UFOs and Bigfoots and that kind of thing.
Things that
go bump in the night. I think that's was our common theme of finding each other. And I was trying to remember how each of that worked. I'm trying to remember where I first met you, Geryl and Jane. I think it was in a chat. Was it Jessica's?
It was Terry's show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Mr.
Yeah,
B.
met
Yep.
It's his fault.
Mr. B's
It's
Truth
Terry's
Seekers.
fault.
Yes, it's Terry's fault.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen your name around, but I never really knew you on like Facebook or anything like that. And that was because you've been on Terry show, we got to know you.
That's all. Thanks, Terry. Hey,
Yeah, thank you,
look at
Terry.
you connecting everybody.
And I wasn't involved in this at all until March 2019.
Huh.
Michael Schratt, who I've known for 25, almost 30 years, he said, I'm going to be at a MUFON thing in Phoenix. Why don't you come up? So Saturday morning, I drive up to Phoenix. I go to I think it was at the Hilton. And I go in there, and they were showing Jeremy Corbell's Lazar documentary. It was a promotion for him, not necessarily Bob Lazar. But everybody was in the auditorium, and I went in where all the vendors were, and it was empty. So there was one guy sitting there, sort of guarding the entrance, named Doc Skinner, and I said,
Oh.
"Can I sit? Can I sit down in your comfortable chair?" He said, "Sure." He said, "I'm Doc Skinner." I said, "Well, I'm Jim Goodall." He stopped. He said, "I didn't see you on the program." I said, "I didn't know I was coming here till this morning. And the reason I'm here is I know Michael Schratt's going to be in here, and I know George Knapp is coming down. And I've known George 45 years. So, well, I mean, a lot of people were surprised, and that's what started it.
Yeah.
That's what started it.
Yeah, Doc, then I saw on Terry's and Brian and all this fun, and Mr. Bauer. Professor was just here. Hello to Professor Bauer.
Is he there? No,
he was chiming. He did say hi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, you're supposed to send me my stuff, Robert.
Oh, send me stuff. And Terry, how's the community for you? Oops, sorry. Because you were. I know you started this platform online, and you found a lot of like minds online. But have you found some like minds in person, or you're kind of knee deep in husband mode?
You're on mute, Terry.
Oh,
you're on mute. We don't want to hear you anyway, but
yeah. Well, I'm pretty much family oriented. Family comes first all the time. I mean, I love doing the podcast show, but I've been pretty slack lately. I mean, hey, with age comes issues with health and everything else. But hey, not going to get down that path. But
you're an old fart.
But living in one of the remote cities on the planet, which Perth, Western Australia, is a remote city. I mean, yeah, we don't get the opportunity to meet all the fabulous speakers and everything else. And for me to go to America to go to these conferences, it's like, I mean, you're looking at $15,000.
12,000 miles.
You know what I mean?
It'd be 12,000 miles to the
Well, there's a few Australian ones, maybe, but you still have to. I know what you're saying. I know. I get it.
They're 4,000 k's away. Again, still. I mean,
it's still a bit. Hi, Woo.
But I have a wonderful group of internet friends. I do, like yourselves, with like mind. But how I got into this, anybody I personally believe that has had experiences, for some reason, I wouldn't say they go into it willingly. They do, but the point it's like a magnet. You are attracted to it. It pulls you in because there's something about it that we all have in common, and it's you can call it paranormal. It's like a connection, an invisible connection, which you can relate to. And when you meet somebody that's had an experience, you can see in their eyes. I feel personally, I can define who's talking crap and who's telling the truth. And because there's something about most experiences are very intuitive, and that's a natural. That's like a gift. It's a curse in one way, but it's a gift. And yes, and I've met a lot of wonderful people through this. And like Jim, I actually met Jim through my good friend, Doc Skinner. So everything that's going on here, we can thank Doc Skinner for.
I mean, and he was trying to put together an event, and unfortunately, it didn't gel. was a good
Not
idea.
this year. Yeah, it's a
was
good idea.
brilliant.
Maybe not this year. Mhm.
But
Need a bit more time.
he
I
had a
think.
lot of willing participants, speakers and everything else,
Mhm.
and he can get a lot of people up here next year with with a lot of advance notice, and to have the same group of speakers that were going to be on his his special event. And I was
It'll be a
up
one
at
of
the
a
ranch.
lifetime.
I was up at the ranch. It's a big, huge log cabin, a house, I should say. I think there's 3 or 4 or 5 bedrooms in it, or with bunks. And they weren't there, or at least we didn't notice them. But Doc says in the morning and the evening, I heard an elk come through almost every day.
Wow.
She said about 50 of them. So it's a long way from anywhere. It's 20 some odd miles north of Sholo, Arizona, which is up on what they call rim country. You're at almost 7,000 feet. So I mean, I would love to see him have one of the biggest events ever, because he deserves it.
He's put in a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, and his heart is in the wrong place, but he's almost like one of the characters in Charlie Brown, the one with the cloud over his head.
Yeah.
And I just want to see him. I just want to see him. Just
You want to
blow-
win.
I
Yeah.
want to see him blow the doors off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know he
Yeah.
just did his book. So he just launched his book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that came
Yeah.
out. Yeah. It's really, I'm excited for him too. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Aw. Well, with that being said, with all these friendships online and everything, have there been, well, no, I don't want to go there yet. Like, let's talk about the dark stuff now. I want to thank you all for being so gracious with me, offline. You've been really nice pals to connect with and reach out to. And Geryl and Jane, you know how I feel about that. They've heard me vent. And
Yeah, I mean,
I do hear kickback. Did anybody hear that? Is anybody hearing that? Or is that just because
No.
there's so many of us? Okay.
By the
Like
way,
I'm hearing myself.
Heidi,
Yeah.
Dave Emmons said to say hi.
Dave Emmons. Oh, where's Dave? Is he here? Is he on? Oh,
He's
tell him hi.
He's in Messenger. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice-
tell him
nice man.
howdy. Yeah. Dave is very nice. I had the pleasure of doing a couple shows with him. He did ask me to help to be a regular and I can't commit. I have commitment issues. I can't commit to any routine, as you know, with this Thursday 3 p.m. live. Hi, Polly. I think Polly knows all our friends here.
Yeah,
g'day,
Polly.
how you doing, Polly? I hope you're
He's been on
safe.
my show.
Yes, hope you're safe,
I-
Polly.
I know. I hope please let us know how you are doing, and good old Blazer out there. So thanks, guys. Well, cool. Well, if anyone ever has any questions for the chat, maybe we should ask about, do we all have experience? Do we all have that contact experience, since we all met on those kinds of platforms? And do we have something we want to share, Terry?
Yes. Well, look, briefly, from the age of, I actually got some a short video and a couple of photos to show. But
Okay.
before I get to that, I had experiences from the age of 7 till I was 13. Twice a year, I had these grey beans, child-sized grey beans, come into my bedroom. I used to hide under the sheets and everything else, and this happened. Illuminated like fluorescent. No face, no ears, no eyes. You don't see anything. Just my father told me to grow up and don't let my imagination grow wild with me. But later on in life, he says yes. When he turned on the bedroom light, he saw it for a split second, but he didn't want to say because it was only a few weeks before his father, my grandfather, passed away in our home, and he was visiting on the weekend, and of course, didn't want to freak out my mum. Anyway, then the second time, I was on June the 24th, 1974. I was living in England at the time. I was living in England between 65 till late 74, nearly just before Christmas, 74. And in the early hours of the morning, I was bathed I went to bed after the jog and everything. I was going to go to work for the morning. of course, because it was Sunday night going on a Monday, and I was bathed in all this light, and of course my hair's, every hair in my body was standing up like I was standing around a Tesla coil, and I entered this big room, and there was these little people around the walls standing by these columns, and there's a Nordic-looking man at this big table. Anyway, for years I honestly believe had a near-death experience. But with the story, I don't want to get too much into it, but it was later on in life, after reading so many books on near-death experiences for many years, come about 2002, 2003, we didn't have the internet like we had. We did have what they call dial-up, and we didn't have MSN Messenger or YouTube to kind of entertain. We had the old bulletin boards, and of course I started reading stuff, and then it started resonating. People who had the same experience as me, right?
Okay.
And of course, I've gone in. I've had since that hypnosis and everything. Yes, and it's got subtly revealed, but that's another story for another day. But yes, so that's where I was actually how I kind of fell into it, right? And
Okay.
the thing is, too, for years I struggled with anxiety, which is very common with people that had experiences, and I found it very difficult to really talk about it to anybody at that time for those years. And it's really kind of, hey, it was like a burden on me, because all of a sudden I'm a super fit guy, not now, but I was then. The old six-pack, go jogging every day, go to the gym twice a week, and now I just break down like a melting marshmallow, having chronic anxiety and panic attacks for no reason, Yes, and it was bad. It was I got through it. I got through it, and I'm okay now with that.
So you see a relation of that to having contact as a kid. You see the relation.
Yes, and what happened in 1974, and the 1974 was the one that actually freaked me out more. Not understanding, believing I had a near-death experience. Anyway, put all that aside. In 2016, I was doing an early morning shift where I was working, and as I was driving, I actually, in my peripheral vision, I actually saw this like a shooting star, boom, and it stopped like on a dime. But nothing I could do. I had my phone in my pocket, and I was driving. I was just about to turn right at traffic lights, and anyway, I got to my workplace, parked the car, and as I was walking down, I looked up, and I could see this little star was just moving slowly but surely. And there was another part of it in the sky as well. Now, let me share a screen here. I took out I had a Galaxy S5 smartphone. And share screen. Is it going to let me? Just on a sec. Here we go.
I'll see it in a sec.
Were they smartphones when they were back to number fives? What are they now? 20 something?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay. Now,
I don't
this
see
here.
it quite yet.
Okay, share. Okay. This is a video. I think this is the video. I'll just check. Okay. Share.
Oh, here we go. Something's coming. Do. And thanks,
Okay,
folks. I
now-
see you there.
Okay. Now, first of all, can you see my mouse working?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now there's it. Look at there. There's a large UFO there, right?
Oh,
And here is a small one. Now that will move over to here to there. Notice there's nothing around that area. So it's not a light. What you see is not a light. And you'll see in the next photograph, right? Right. But there's a light there that's not working, right? Now any poles that are around are usually kind of electrical poles. Anyway, now I'll start the video. The only noise you'll hear in this is a vehicle that was driving past at that time. This was at 20 to 5 in the morning, okay? You'll see the star moving.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And before it's going to go outside, I thought I'll take a photograph because I know that on the video on those old phones that you just can't get an excellent. There you go. Now I'll close that one now, and here is a photograph of. I'll enlarge that one of the two crafts. There's the large one up top, and there's that craft there.
Hey, Amber. Let's see.
Remember I said there was no lights around that area there?
Well, it's not up just yet. I don't see the screen yet.
Okay.
Oh, here.
You got it?
I still don't see that screen.
Okay, bear with me. I might
Okay.
have to share again.
Hi, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
Amber, I've been loving your TikToks.
Yeah, she's been catching some great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's coming.
that's it.
So you were taking the video and then you stopped it to take the picture, or you took pictures from your video. Here it
Yeah.
comes. Okay. Here it
Right.
comes.
Yep. Now do you see the large craft there?
Hmm.
And now
Hey.
over here, that's the small craft. Now I'll tell you something about that small craft. After I took the photograph, it actually glowed and it turned into an orb and it got about 10 to 15 times larger. It just literally glowed and went and just expanded. And then it broke up into three parts. One went, I'll say, northwest, and the other one went south, and the other one went shot off east, straight up, like shooting stars, 3 directions.
Oh, wow.
Poof. Right, now I'll close that one down,
Wow.
and I'll show you a close-up of each craft now. Right, now I have to go share screen to each one of these. My apologies, guys.
Yeah. Well, if it's the same, I think you can leave it up and just.
No, but for some reason
no.
it didn't come up.
Okay.
No, I have to go share screen for each of these.
Well, this is good. Well, as you're looking that up, I know, Geryl and Jane, you have a lot of extra activity too where you are. You have stuff in the sky, but you also have some random little energies happening, huh?
Yeah, we brought up the live
Elementals and-
screen last night on our show on the Night Owl
Oh.
Lounge, and everybody was loving it.
I didn't
Right,
catch
and
up.
there's that small craft.
Well, that's the
As you
small
can
one.
see, and
That's
they've got the
awesome.
rings. They've got the rings underneath. See it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
I do see
yeah.
it.
Hey, Terry,
You know, I mean,
Terry, could you do me a favor? Could you
Yes, sir.
send me the just the stills of it? And I have some incredible software that really does wonderful things. But I need the highest resolution you have, and send it to me,
Okay,
and I'll
mate.
see if I can pull something out of it.
I appreciate that, Jim. I really would. I'll do that later, mate. But yes, and this is the craft that actually glowed, right? And you can actually see the different sections to it.
Yeah.
It's like a caterpillar type thing. You know what I mean? It's very deceiving because strategically, I mean, military-wise, or what do you call it, space exploration, if you're going to have a craft like that and it can split up into 3 parts, that's a good defensive in retrospect that it can defend itself better. You know what I mean? Not just
Yeah.
if you're being attacked by something, you can say, okay, we'll split it up in 3 parts, and then they can all gang up on the one thing that's attacking him. Which I thought, well, yeah, that's a thought. But yes, I was amazed the way that actually glowed and shot off in the different directions. Okay, I'll close that
Wow.
one. And
You know, it's interesting. Those ones that you say that break off and go in different directions. Those were the kind too that my mom was experiencing, and
Yeah.
that I felt familiar with. The dancing ones. Now, it didn't all shoot off in one area, but it did like dance, like move different spots,
Right.
which was really cool.
Yeah,
That was really cool. That's cool, Terry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and we've got the last one here. Now, this is what I call, this is interesting. I mean, I didn't get the other picture I wanted up to show you some comparison, but I think you'll see what I'm talking
comes.
about.
Okay, it's coming. Here we go.
The clarity is not all
Oh,
that good, but notice the shape of it's like wings, right?
Huh.
and then you got this dome thing in the middle, right? And you look, see, again, it also has the black kind of circles on it as well, just like the small craft. Now, I should have. Have you ever seen the capping stone where it shows you? I think it's the. Was it the? It's got like a wing on it with a circle in the middle, and it's a bit like. Have you ever seen any depictions of the what they call the Anunnaki starships, where they got the wings coming out and they got the dome shape in the middle, and this is what it looks like to me. It's uncannily common, like it looks very familiar to it. And on the capping stone, a pyramid capping stone that's in a museum, a black capping stone, it actually shows an image very similar to that, with the wing type factors and the dome in the middle. So, it's a pity I didn't have it there to actually bring up. I haven't got it in the system at the moment. So, yeah, but that's it. So that's what
Look
I
at
call
you.
the mothership. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Completely.
I don't get the opportunity to
I-
kind of show.
I should.
all this
I may
other
be. I may be able to pull out a more defined image.
things.
Yeah, if you run that through something, huh?
Yeah, I
You
need.
can-
I need it from the
Look at that.
from the original source, which is your cell phone, and again, as high resolution as you can get on it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Hey.
as I said, it's 2016 that was taken. And
Okay.
it says with a Galaxy smartphone. I mean, you've got to realize, at 20 to 5 in the morning, it's not, they've got studio lights everywhere.
Sure. Those were
You
good
know.
pictures. And hi, Chile. Taco detectors here. So we have Chile in the house, Australia in the house, Midwest, Arizona, California. We got all these peeps. Hi, guys. Who abducted Jane? She's gone. What happened to Jane? I think they might be having a computer moment.
All right.
I'm sure they'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are exciting to capture stuff like that. Now, someone had advised, people say the randos they take, the random pictures they take, or maybe it was even Bigfoot Dwarf, that it's, or Latchkey Hessel, after you just taking pictures, not necessarily you're looking at craft, it's when you find the craft. So it made me want to go through all my gazillions of old pictures. I'm the ADHD mom that takes pictures, screenshots and pictures of everything.
By the way, must state there, Heidi, that at the time it was reported to MUFON,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
right? And their investigator, his name was Daniel from over east, and apparently he was over this way for some reason. I don't know why, but he said Perth Airport had nothing in the air at that time.
Oh.
In this area. Now,
There you go.
that UFO too was actually hovering over Garden Island, which is the Australian Naval Base, Stirling.
Oh. Do you think it
And-
was theirs then, or do you think it was truly
I
out of this
don't
world?
know, but the funny thing about it was, as a young girl that was inside came out, opened it, "What are you looking at, Terry?" And she looked up, and that's when the stars went, the crafts went in all directions. She said, "What the hell was that?" And I said, "I told you wouldn't believe me." And anyway, she told her mother, and her mother works in the Navy, and she was an officer, and she came in, and she said, "Hey, I believe you saw something the other day." And she said, "Yeah," and I said, "Did?" And she said, "I wouldn't tell anybody."
Oh, she did.
And she was an officer, and she was dressed in white with a black cap, white everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what rank she was, but anyway, I just,
She said, "Keep it to yourself."
yeah, she did. She did. Anyway, funny thing about I had when MUFON called me on my phone, it was strange after I spoke to them and everything, that same day, all my photographs in my phone disappeared.
Okay. Oh, that's happened to me.
My photographs disappeared. But lucky for me, I already downloaded it to my computer and to my what they call external hard drive. Right. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
That
I'm a
happened.
firm believer.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a firm believer at MUFON, like with any contractor, and that's basically, private organisations don't come under the Freedoms of Information Act. So I'm not saying MUFON works for the government, but I think they also collect stuff for the government because they say
Yeah.
it's for the public access. They say you can go and find it if you can find it. And, I mean, if you want to go through MUFON files, I mean, you know, they've got millions and millions of files. And half the
I
stuff
know.
they don't show the good stuff. I mean, the only stuff MUFON seems to show is the stuff that's already commonly seen on the internet. You know.
Yeah, they
get
took
that,
my
yeah.
mom's VHS video. We never got it back, and although we've never scrolled through the archives. Maybe it's on there, but she does have a video there. Yeah, little crazy there. Well, look at you two together. So you are in the same
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, a little technical difficulty on the other computer, so we're over here on this one.
It says I'm running out of memory and everything's freezing up, so we might have
Oh.
to get rid of this old Apple computer that was
So
free
your computer's
anyway.
got
Yeah, we're
got
having problems.
Alzheimer's, is it?
You know
What?
what
Your
was
computer's
that?
got Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah, and Amber, and so we had Chili come in, and just to let you know, of course, Montana, Blazer, we wouldn't forget you in West Virginia, but Amber's saying around her parts, yeah, cryptids are rampant around her parts. So I think there's some good fun chats. Hi, Angel Wings, all these chats going on in here. And Jane, you are glowing. Doesn't she look lovely? It's the hand pan glowing off her too. It's really sweet.
different lighting over here. I'm not used to it.
I love it. It's beautiful. And well, so with those experiences, do you want to share, Geryl and Jane, some of the things that make you go, huh? The things that make you go,
Can
in
you pull up the
Illinois?
video?
Yeah,
have
that's
anything
like
fun?
every night over here. We see stuff in the sky every night, and I
Yes.
mean, we don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's similar to the Big Dipper, which we could probably pull up that 10X, but these last few weeks, the same time of night, same spot in the sky, these lights are appearing, brightening up, and then disappearing, just like what was happening underneath the Big Dipper. And we don't know what they are. It doesn't make any sense.
Huh.
And so it reminds me of what's going on in the Big Dipper every August and September for 6 weeks. But those are tons of them. But these last few weeks, same spot, same time, and they just come out of nowhere, power up, and just disappear. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. I saw some on Long Island Mike. Did you see he's posting something about there's going to be a smiley face in the sky?
Yeah.
That's not
planets and the
the
crescent
Dipper,
moon.
is it? Oh,
Yeah.
the crescent moon. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I'd be very curious about these things. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
mhm.
I've been out in the desert snooping on our government since the 70s. I live in an area that has very effectively reduced light pollution here in the greater Tucson area. There's a organization based in Tucson called the Dark Sky Initiative, and they're trying to convince municipalities in and near optical observatories to start doing something when you upgrade your lights, go to LEDs or whatever they have at the time, and have it so it shines down. Having a big light bulb out there where the light scatters everywhere. One, you're gonna save energy costs if you just focus in an area. And two, I've been up at Kitt Peak at night. That's where the 22 optical telescopes are outside of Tucson. They have the valley floor is about 2,000 feet. The telescopes are about 7,000 feet in elevation, and they have everything from a 12-inch primary mirror to a 13-foot primary mirror on the Mayall telescope, and it's amazing that you can see the glow and the encroachment of the greater Phoenix area, which is 100 miles away. I mean, it's real obvious. And I know when I've been at the fence line at Area 51 or Tonopah Test Range at night, you see the glow of Vegas, almost 200 miles away. I mean, it's right there, and there's I love going out there. I'm to the point now where I can't leave Rosemary for a long time.
Yeah.
she's very, very self-sufficient right now, but has no short-term memory. But I want to go, I need to go back out there. One, the F-47 is flying. Two, of everybody I know that has had an experience of some sort or another, I never have. I have never seen something I couldn't identify, and I've had weird senses of people. I mean, when I first came online with Terry and Heidi, you were on, and Chastity was on, and Robert, the professor, was on, I had an instant attachment to all four of you, and it was an energy it was more or less transmitted through the internet, but it was a very, very positive feeling all the way around, and I get that with anybody I meet. I know within a millisecond if I'm going to like the person, or if I'm going to be repelled from the person. But again, I'm out most every night with my dog. And I don't know if you saw her when she came in. She's our rescue German Shepherd. So I go out there with you, and I stare at the sky. I'm out there with a set of binoculars. It's always by my chair, and I have never seen anything. Karen Hill, who has the Tucson MUFON group, she shot a TR-3B type vehicle just north of downtown Tucson in a night that I was outside, and I didn't see it. I don't know if they have an area on the aliens chart. Avoid this area because Goodall lives there. And I would not love nothing more than to see something I couldn't explain.
You always seem to be around, right? Like you're always around these kinds of things. Yeah.
But I've never had an experience, and I always carry my Nikon with me. I have a D850, so it's a 47 megapixel camera, and I have good Nikon lenses. And I'm just waiting for the day I can see something up there and shoot it, and I have it.
With the camera.
And it's frustrating as hell. But there has been a number of experiences. I think what I saw, or I think I saw, could have been something out of this world or something different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I get frustrated, and I get not envious. Well, maybe yes, envious of people. I was abducted. I mean, I was out by the black mailbox. This is in Typical Valley, but it was trying to think. It's early 90s. I think maybe 92, 93. No moon. It was a sliver moon. It went below the horizon, and I'm standing out there. It's so dark. My eyes haven't adjusted yet. I couldn't see my feet. And I'm standing by the black mailbox in Tippecanoe Valley. And I said, okay, if you can read my mind, abduct me. I mean, I'm thinking as hard as I can and focusing on the thought, and nothing. Yes, bastards. This, and the thing about abductions, now, I think you all know that John Lear was a very dear friend of mine. We went back almost 50 years, 45 years, I guess, closer. When he was flying for American Transair, he and other times he would track down someone who had been abducted, and he would contact the leading hypnosis association, whatever it is, in the state or the city, and he would hire the top guy for deep regression hypnosis. And he interviewed and had put under deep hypnosis 15 people who had claimed to be abducted.
Wow.
13 of them had the exact same experience. It's almost like they were reading from the same script. The color, the feeling, the smells, what they felt around them. 3 of them were, of the 15, 2 of them were phonies. they were. I mean, they even the hypnosis doctor knew that these people weren't under, and what they were saying was wasn't factual.
Mm.
But 13 of the 15 had almost the same experience, and none of them had any connection with each other. None of them had anything to do with UFOs, spooky airplanes, Area 51. No interest. They were just average, everyday people that went out to check something in the backyard one day,
Right.
And all of a sudden, boom, you're abducted, and you have this experience. Most of it's blocked out. That's why you go into deep hypnosis. They can pull some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you're sitting there saying, abduct me, abduct me. And they're like, no,
yeah,
you want it too much.
yeah.
Man.
Give me a
Well,
shot. Yeah.
I do know that. I think I see it in the wings there, Terry. I know there's a video that surfaced, and to be honest, I've seen it offline too. If you do a little search of Jim Goodall at YouTube, a lot of stuff comes up. And from when you're younger too, do you find it crazy that your timeline keeps cyclically recurring? Like it's a whole new wave crop of fans are coming up going, oh, look at Jim knew what he was doing back in the day. Like it's kind of are you ready to, should we share, Terry?
Yeah,
Do you know
go
which
on.
one we're talking about?
Yes, I got it there. Yep. You ready?
Was that the real bad resolution one, discolored? Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Oh, that one.
yeah.
Oh.
We don't have any sound.
Oh, we don't hear it though.
I'm still seeing that video pop up on other
I
people's
know.
I see it. I had a whole pile of them pop up
Trying
and
to
said,
put the-
"Hey, when did you do this?"
Yeah, people keep asking you, right? They're like, when was this? Where was this?
What? No video, no sound.
I don't hear the sound. No.
Wow, boy.
I'm looking over on here.
I'm hearing it my end. Everything's there.
Huh.
Well, maybe
Maybe
you're so
if we
far away,
move-
sound can't get to us. That's a picture.
Well, that is a juicy one, folks. If you just Google
Well, that way.
Jim
that
Goodall.
goes, yeah. But there's Jim. He's a man with. He speaks his mind. That's for sure.
Oh,
He speaks his mind.
when we were getting ready to acquire the A-12 Blackbird for our museum, I went to I called up, made talked with the general manager there at the Skunk Works, and to come in. So I was going to take a look at the bird, which was out near the old airline terminal.
Mm-hmm.
And I go into, this is at Palmdale. I go into the security building, which is outside the perimeter. And there's a long counter there, and there's a buzzer, and the door's open. I can hear people in the back. And so I hit the buzzer, and it says, "Who's there?" And I said, "Jim Goodall." Dead silence. It said, "The Jim Goodall?" I said, "Well, there's a total of 5 of us, but I think 2 of them are gone, as my grandfather and my dad. My son is a carpenter out in Minnesota, and I have a grandson who's about 5 named James. But I'm probably the one you're concerned about." So she walks around. Her name was Glenna Farley, and she looked at me. She says, "You're not the 800-pound gorilla that you've been made out to be." And I said, he says, "I've been here at the Skunk Works 21 years." I said, "I heard your name the week I was hired. And I've heard your name mentioned about once a quarter for the last 20 years. And that's probably every time Ben called me or I called him, it was noted on the log and it was put into the security file." And she was just,
You got
she
your
said,
picture up in the bathroom. They got your
Yeah,
picture up everywhere. Look out for this guy.
yeah, but it was just funny. It was just, I'm not the 800-pound gorilla that I was made out to be. So, or when I'm with John Lear, we're at the fence line at Tonopah Test Range, and there's all sorts of activities going there. And it's June of '96. All the F-117s have left, and the base is apparently, supposedly under caretaker status. And we're at the fence line about 11 o'clock at night, and you can see all sorts of activities, all sorts of lights, people driving around. So it's not in caretaker status.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed there were 3 armored personnel carriers coming towards us, one from the south, from the west, and the east, with their lights off. I stand up and yell real loud. We have Generation 1 night vision in our lawn chairs. I stand out and yell real loud, "Hey, we're good guys, we're taxpayers." And all of a sudden, poof, floodlights, little red dots. And there's a gentleman coming around, behind John, pulled up behind John's pickup truck on the public land side. He has his hand on his 9mm, and he's in desert utilities. He said, "You're in a restricted area, and I'm ordering you to leave." I said, "Sir, I don't know who you are, but this is public lands, and I don't need your permission to be here." He says, "I said you're in a restricted area. I'm ordering you to leave." And I pulled out the aeronautical map printed by our government, and I said, according to this map, the restricted area to the second longitude and latitude, I'm in public lands, according to this official government map. And if you look at base of that fence post that my friend has his feet up on the barbed wire, just sort of leaning back, enjoying the view, you'll see a USGS medallion that gives the longitude and latitude to the second. I said, I can be here for 15 consecutive days without asking anybody's permission. And you could just see his jaws just tightening up.
Clenching.
Yeah. I want to see some ID. I said, I don't have to show you squat. I said, he said, how did it go? He said, I want to see some ID. And I said, I don't have to show you anything. So I've been deputized by the state of Nevada to uphold the laws of the federal government, Lincoln, Esmeralda, and Nye County. I said, well, good for you. I think I can say he's getting really, really pissed. So I said, I tell you what, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. So he hands me his ASI badge. I said, sir, that's not a valid form of ID. I need something issued by the state or federal government. And you can see he's getting pissed. So he pulls out his driver's license and shows to me, and I don't have my reading glasses on. So I hand him mine. I lived in Minnesota at the time. Lear takes this out, gives it to a guy on the south side of the fence, goes to one of the armored personnel carriers, gives it to the supervisor. Interior light goes on, and I hear this, oh shit, it's Goodall and Lear. And the lights went off, the red dots went away, and they dispersed. They knew they weren't going to intimidate us out of the area. But but again, all the times I've been out in the desert at night, I've even camped out there for 4 days with my son when this is early 90s.
And you're not spotting, yeah. You're not.
And I didn't see anything. It just irritates
so what makes you that's the passion of you wanting to have an experience just to be to get on the game board, even though you had zillions of other experiences. Yeah, you have experiences we haven't had.
Well, I have people say, well, how do you know these people? I said, because I'm 80. I've been doing this a long time. And a lot of
actually, Heidi, I reckon if aliens abduct him, they know he'll say, no, I don't want to go back. They'll be stuck with him.
They're stuck with him. My goodness. And Geryl, Jane, you haven't had abductions, have you? You have. No. I know you have horsetail.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Not that you
I've
know
had
of.
weird, strange, vivid dreams. That may not be dreams. It could have been an experience, but our main experience is just seeing things in the sky. I've recorded a lot of stuff. Don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
And you've had the horsetail braiding or the knots, the fairy knot thing is kind of something too, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of mysterious.
Right.
And we got rods and skyfish and orbs that show up on our cameras all the time. We don't know what those are. They've got to be interdimensional something.
Yeah, but I've actually seen a few myself on your show there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're live 24/7 now, aren't you? With your
Yes.
cam.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on with my computer. I don't know. It might go down for a little bit. I don't know what's going on over there.
I love your movie nights, guys. I really do. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I do. I just wait. I wait because they're on early morning for me, right? So If I wake up early, if I come onto your show and say hi, and it seems to be halfway through, it's only because I've been sleeping. Not that I didn't want to watch. You know, I mean,
Yeah, this Friday on our Rumble channel, we're actually going to be showing the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman episodes with Bigfoot.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way.
Oh,
Yes.
hey, that sounds awesome. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
can you try to find if you can? There's an old TV show going back to late 50s, 60s, and it's called Adventures in Paradise with Adam Troy and the Kontiki schooner. You know, they sail through the French Polynesian islands. But I don't know. Some people might get offended with it because back in those days, these natives they had on these islands were actually white people painted black, like in the black and white minstrels. You know, and had bones hanging out of their noses and stuff.
Yeah, we might want to stay clear of that then. I don't know.
Well, you know,
It was quite popular. It was quite popular in its day.
people getting offended by old movies or things that happened 100 years ago or 50 years ago. I'm offended. Oh, get a break. I don't.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, you don't care if you're offended. You're offended if you. Never mind.
You know,
Jim, do you remember the music show they used to have called Mitch Miller Band?
Yes.
Mitch Miller,
I'm that old.
Sing along with
and they
Mitch.
used to have they used to have the black and white minstrel show on that as well.
menstrual show. Like menstrual? What?
Yeah. Going on.
Oh my goodness.
Minstrel then was song and dance. So
Oh.
just so you know.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, how things change, eh?
Yeah, how things change. Well, I tell you, even in high school, I really was fortunate to be at a high school. They had an activity and club for anything, but even their curriculum was cool. And I did do a film appreciation class, I think junior or senior year, but it was pretty awesome. We had a diehard teacher, but it's the oldies, the ones it's the educators and the people who love film that can point out with the old ones, you know, how clever they are and, you know, the techniques they use. They have none of the technology they had today to make these films. I mean, it's pretty clever. There's some pretty good ones. I love it. And thank you for re-showing that. So yeah, Rumble. And then you get to show, you get no strikes or anything over there, right? No copyright
Not
issues
yet.
or
I
anything.
mean,
So far.
So we don't know.
Wow.
We're pushing the envelope once in a while. We're getting newer films on there, but we like staying with the black and white old monster
Mate, I like the
movies,
Twilight
murder mysteries.
The
When
murder
you're going to do
mysteries.
One Step Beyond shows, the One Step Beyond. I mean, you got
Yeah,
the
we've
Twilight Zone.
done One Step Beyond. We've done Twilight Zone. We do
You got-
Hitchcock's
Awesome.
suspense theater. We've done what else? Thriller, Bela Lugosi. All of his shows that he's had on.
X-Files.
The other week you had The Fly on. The Fly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
That got
and
me
the
as a
Blob
kid.
too,
That
and
was
the Blob
great.
too, and a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
What goes in must come out. I'll be back in about 2 seconds.
All
Okay.
right.
You're having an undrink. He's going for
Yes, we got a lot more.
Lasers cracking me up.
A lot more movies coming up, monster movies, whether it's Godzilla, King Kong. So we'll hit the whole gambit of all of them.
Swamp
Do you know what
Thing.
I what I love about the early Godzilla movies? You'll notice everybody's running in one direction, and they're all got their hands up going.
They're all the same, right? Do we run around like that when something's wrong? Like, do you find having started these movie nights, do you get a whole new crop of audience now? Because it's not like you're just promoting one thing or another. You're just sharing old films. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
probably it's expanded your audience, I'm sure.
It's weird though. It's not crossing over to YouTube, and YouTube's not necessarily crossing over to Rumble. It's a whole different crowd. There is a few people that know us and follow us from YouTube to Rumble because we announce it on our YouTube channel. But Rumble, it seems like somehow people are finding us that we've never seen or heard before. They don't necessarily come in our chat, but they're I'll see notifications of a new person following us almost every day.
That's awesome. That's
I
really
think it's
cool.
wonderful. It really
Yeah.
is wonderful.
I think that's
I like it.
fantastic. Yeah, it's. I know we're streaming over there now. It's definitely. I see what you mean about the cross. A lot of people on Rumble have been disgruntled or kicked off YouTube, so they're like, "I'm done. I will not contribute to." Here's your Rumble link, and I get that. I'm like, do you do the tags? I finally started tagging. You know, like when you tag.
Yeah,
the name of your
I've
knife.
done everything from
Everything.
tags to all that stuff, putting it in the description, putting it in the title, and going back afterward and sharing it out. And it's just hit and miss. I don't think there's any real solving the algorithm yet, at least that I don't know of.
That algorithm's tricky, isn't it? Rumble's seems to be the most laxed about it. But I just got another notification on Facebook for a story I reshared at Japan or somewhere. Someone stopped me because there's like 5 seconds of Michael Jackson. They going, I got flagged for copyright. So Facebook is still Book of Faces, Fuckerberg.
Yep.
But I try. So hello to Facebook land. Where we all keep in touch with each other. And
I mean,
you've got your...
I've gone to jail many times on Facebook. Many times.
The Beehive, I think, got in trouble recently. Didn't they get in trouble for something recently? I thought they did. Well, you run the Beehive, but do you still have Truth Seekers on there? Mr. B and Friends Truth Seekers?
I've got Australian Truth Seekers. Australian Truth Seekers actually got threatened to be taken off air, you know. And I just contested it, and it's still there. It's still there. And it's still getting, I don't kind of seek followers on it, but it's still gathering a momentum still, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not promoting. I mean, with the Beehive, it's growing slowly again. I'm only got about heading towards 2,800, going into about 2,900 people there now. But it's growing by itself. I don't kind of invite people anymore. I mean, I just leave it alone. But I mean, people don't realise when you got a large following of 5,000 people on Facebook, and you got 2,500 people over in your group. People don't realise how much work it takes. It's time consuming. The amount of stuff I literally have to view. I mean, it's because I don't let people like trusted people like yourself and Jim Goodall, if they want to post in the Beehive, they can do it. They don't need permission.
I see.
Because they're people I trust, but people I really don't know. I have to. They don't get permission just to post whatever they want. And I'm constantly deleting stuff, and I've got constantly getting people befriending me, and I don't know them. I don't know them, and I look at their profile. See, all this is time consuming, and you look at their profile, you've got no information about them when you go.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah.
There's nothing there. So I'm constantly have to either delete or block them because I can't afford to have scammers come in. And when I've seen people, and they've got a nice profile, I had them as a friend, then all of a sudden they don't want to sell me Bitcoin. They're trying to you've had that?
Yes, all the time. Weight loss, or do you want to talk about this health thing? I go, well, sure. You want to watch my health show on Sundays? There's always it's something, and then it just immediately goes to the DMs with the advertisement. I'm like, ooh, I thought I vetted you.
Block.
Yeah, I go to mutuals. It's a hard vetting process, but you brought up a good point about being on social media with this. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes up a lot of time. And I know it brings up a lot of issues with my wife at times. Like, you're all right, aren't you? And I said, I know. But the thing is, I do put it down. And my wife's bad. My lovely wife, she's a Filipino, and she's constantly on the phone. She's more on the phone than what she's on, Facebook. The only thing she looks at Facebook is prayer stuff. Anything from prayers, daily prayers and stuff like that. And which is lovely, I mean, she's good like that. But basically, she's all basically on the phone, or use Messenger to all her family and everybody in the Philippines. Sure. So
it's a great tool for that. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, I call Jim all the time. I rap bag him. I call him on the landline. If he's not online, I call him on the landline and say, "Are you harassing me?" Yeah. Why not? Somebody's got it, And so Jim and I have a good rapport. He calls me a dirty old man.
Well, it takes one to know one, Terry.
He says, Terry, you're a sick effer. I won't say the word. And I said, "Yep, that's why we're friends, Jim." You know.
Yeah.
There's some naughty there, but you're gentlemen too.
Well, yes, we are. I like to think so. But point is, we're not plastic. We're genuine. I mean, what you see is what you get. Yeah, with all of us. And Geryl and Jane are the same. What you see is what you get. There's no pretense there. Like I look at you when I talk to you. I see in your eyes. I mean, your eyes are the windows of your soul, and I can see your soul. And you are a wacky, zany lady. You know. But we love you.
Yeah. and I'm a, I don't, it doesn't work well with wives or potential wives, but I have a real good sense of if a person is a good person. And the moment I saw you outside that restaurant, outside the restaurant when we had lunch, instantly, I mean, I felt very confident that you were who you are, and instantly the energy told me that you're a sweetheart and you are who you are. And
Hey, listen, I got to dub her in here, Jim. Heidi talked about you. She said, I could hear Jim coming. I can hear him going. You should hear his exhaust pipe on his car.
I can hear you from blocks away. There goes Jim.
What's a Corvette, isn't it?
But it's a Teamster town, so everybody's like, ooh.
That's what it is. It's a Teamster.
There's
town?
a lot of Teamsters up here. Yeah, there really are, because there's more land. You get more bang for your buck. I think they can bring all their toys. So there's a lot of car enthusiasts for sure. Yeah. So great place to have the car roll.
Do they still cruise something down the street today in their car going?
Hey, I remember going down Van Nuys Boulevard in 1967 with my 1967 big block Camaro. Oh. And we go through Bob's Big Boy, and we would go all the way through San Fernando Valley, and then we go over we'd start at the Wit Stand in Inglewood, get on Hawthorne Boulevard, go all the way down to through Torrance and hit PCH and head towards the beach areas. Now we had a big
that's a big loop.
I mean, and there would be hundreds of cars. I mean, I remember one night.
That'd be the days when petrol was cheap.
Yeah. But it was about 2:00 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and we're heading east on Pacific Coast Highway when you got to Hawthorne Boulevard, and there's a double turn lane. And there were 5 Camaros. There was white, red, yellow, and 2 blues. All big block Camaros. And one of the guys, our windows are rolled down because it's summertime. And one of the guys yells out, "Hey, let's race!" Across the street, under a street light, is a Manhattan Beach cop, because we're still right at the edge of Manhattan Beach. He looks up, because he's not trying to hide, and the light changes green, and all 5 of us just get on it. Blowing, I mean, they're smoking the tires, everything else. And this cop car he takes off, he goes flying. He catches up with the lead guy, and we all pull over. We can't outrun their Motorola. And all of a sudden, we're surrounded from cops from all areas because he was, I don't know if he was in a common frequency. Torrance police wanted to arrest us and pound our cars. And the guy from Manhattan Beach said, 4 of these guys stopped without they didn't have to. So
they were letting
and they broke the law in my jurisdiction, and Torrance cops, you have no say on what I do. So you guys can just go. And he talked to us for about 10 minutes, and we popped the hood in the cars. He's looking at it because he was a car guy. And he says, "Just look around next time you want to do something like that, because I'm still maybe sitting here in the corner." So,
yeah, Jim, you sure you weren't in town recently? Bigfoot George reminded me there's been 2 high-speed chases with Corvettes lately. You sure?
No, I was. I've been at high speed. The fastest I've been in my Corvette is 100.
What happened there? What happened there?
About 145 miles an hour, and
wow.
and it'll do 185. But
holy smokes!
when I was on the way to Rachel, Nevada, to go to Little Alien to one of the, and I was at, it wasn't Storm Area 51. It was before that. But you come off Hancock Summit going to Tippecanoe Valley, and you can see for 27 miles. I mean, there's no cops, no place to hide, but there's a lot of cows.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down. I said, maybe I can hit 180. I get up, and I get to about 110, and there's the cows are wandering across the street on the road. I said, no, I slowed down. I went about 75 or 80 through,
He's a hoon. He's a hoon. He's a
Oh
hoon.
my goodness.
Yeah.
You keep
He's a
saying
hoon.
you haven't had contact, like experienced a craft or been abduction, but you sure have a lot of multidimensional protection around you.
I mean, I feel it that way. That sometimes. I mean, I just.
You do.
And the way things, I'm sort of pushed towards certain things, just because of circumstances or fate.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I still want to see myself. I want to see a UFO. I want to see a flying saucer.
It will happen, Jim. Hey,
Yeah.
do you know what the thing about our generation is, Jim? We had a cool generation. I mean, hey, we had Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. We had the whole lot, mate. Hey, we had more weed growing in our backyards than what they've got today.
This is from my son.
Hey, the generation today thinking they're just old fogies. They don't understand us. Well, listen, we've been there, done that. We just look at you and think, what a bunch of idiots you guys are. And then again,
on X, some idiot
carry on.
posted that I had posted something. I forget what it was about, and he was talking about Grandpa. He said. He said, the only thing you have to concern yourself with being an old fart is, getting up out, in the middle of the night and having to go to the bathroom, 15 or 20 times. And I responded and I said, okay, I may be an old grandfather, even a great grandfather, but I had a chance to see America and grow up in America before it turned to shit. And I said, and this is what I've done. And I started putting just a few of the things I've done and said, you don't have a clue. I said, everything I've experienced because I wanted to, and I was in the right place at the right time. And that was my adventure for Jim Goodall. And I get really, really tired of idiots and people who, because they didn't share something that I did, an experience, they have to degrade you some way by calling you names or whatever. And
I can't stand those people. That's one of the pitfalls of online, isn't it? Because it still hurts as much as it would hurt in person. It's not cool.
And I've
plenty of that.
I've got a number of people. I mean, I've got a lot of people. So why don't you have your own podcast? I said, because exactly what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
and you got everybody else's show you can go on if you want a podcast.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And I'm more than well. I mean, I just had an inquiry today. He said, hey, can you be on my show? And I said, give me dates.
What time?
Well, yes.
What time?
And our buddy Dustin was here earlier. He might not be on anymore, but you're going to be on Flying Chariots of the Rise soon, too. My buddy Dustin.
On May 9th.
He said howdy earlier.
I watch your show. I do watch your show. He's good.
Yeah.
He's a nice fella. He's a good Wisconsin boy. He's learning. He's passionate. That's the cool bit.
Yeah.
What I was gonna go ahead.
And anybody who asks, will you be on my show? Sure.
Now,
where? Yeah. I mean, I don't care if it's just me and that person. And it's his first day, his first evening or afternoon, whatever it is, on a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's really kind of you. That's
You've
really sweet.
Got to be there for
really
people.
legend.
I mean, mate, as Doc Skinner would turn around and say, let's help each other, and we can all rise up together. Lift each other up,
Exactly.
so we can rise together. I mean,
Yeah.
and what I
Exactly.
say is that let's aspire to inspire one another. And that's
Yeah, I
important.
like that.
Is
Aspire to
that,
inspire.
is
You know,
that conspire or inspire?
Happy
Aspire
420.
to inspire.
Oh, okay.
You know, you said something about the generations, and I wanted to point something out because, yes, there's these different generations that we all have too. But what's crazy with today's generation is it's all through a lens. Like it's all filmed in little 5-second videos instead of like legends that are told, stories that are told, highlighted pictures and, the generations from the past telling stories to children. That's been changing. And that's where, like educating today comes in of like we have to do something different because now it's just pictures. This is what it is, instead of storytelling and thinking, like you telling your stories of these experiences. Jim, I'm picturing you out there at a gridded like I'm on the safe zone, like it's up to us to be the storytellers for the future instead of these 5-second edited clips from mainstream cities. We also did the 16-state road trip with the family, and I remember thinking how huge, there's so much land and available space, but we're all confined to these tiny little metropolitan cities. And then we're like, we think that's what the rest of the country is, when
I mean,
there's, it's not
that's
always the case.
that's why I can go 85 or 90 miles an hour for 3 and 4 hours straight.
Yes. You couldn't do that here.
Because you go from Minneapolis to Denver, it's 900 miles, and you have Omaha. That's it. And I take the
Omaha.
perimeter road around Omaha,
Yeah, that one's tough.
and you can really haul.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as I drive through that, I mean, the most desolate road in America that I've been down is US 93 off of 84 up near, it's up in Idaho, up near Twin Falls, and it goes straight down to not Reno. It goes all the way down to Tucson. 93 does,
Okay.
or into Crexton, Phoenix, and I have a buddy of mine who lives in Star, Idaho. He said he finally moved back to America. He moved from Seattle to Idaho. He said every other house has a flag. So I spent a couple of days with Bruce, and I'm heading home. I'm going down this valley, and it's a huge valley, 2 mountain ranges, north and south range. There's not a human structure on this thing for 90 minutes, to 2 hours. I'm doing 100 miles an hour in places, and there's nobody out there. There's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people who
What's
say,
your bucket list, Jim? What's your
What's my
bucket?
bucket?
What's the
Do you
top of
have
your
anything
bucket
left?
list?
I want to go to China. I want to go to Antarctica.
Okay.
I was scheduled
That's a
to go
good question.
I was scheduled to go to Antarctica just prior to 9/11. I was going to go with the 62nd Airlift Wing out of McCord. They have C-17s, and they marshal out of Christchurch to support all the activities in Antarctica. And I was going to do it for 2 weeks. I was going to write a story on what's all involved in resupplying Antarctica from Christchurch, New Zealand, and everything. It was supposed to happen because January, February, December, January, February is where you want to be in Antarctica because it's summertime down there. And it's only 30 degrees instead of minus 90. But I really, really wanted to go, and it just didn't happen because of 9/11. Everything just sort of stopped. And
Gotcha.
I've always dreamt about getting a mountain bike and doing the Oregon Trail in the US.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a beautiful one.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Just have like my camp gear and a little basket in the back of my mountain bike, and make sure I've got my warm clothes and a mosquito spray and or whatever you need to. I don't know, but I'd love to do that. And Jim, I would
That's a
love
good
to.
one.
I'd love to do a road trip where you're in Australia, mate. If you ever get the opportunity, from Perth to
I would.
Can you
Cairns,
rent a Corvette?
from Perth to from Perth. No, I'll provide transport from Perth to Cairns, Queensland. So
There you go. What
yeah,
about
I love to hang out with Jim. I
Ah.
just
I would love it,
yeah.
and I have, I think he passed away because I haven't. I knew Fred May, and you're gonna search his name, Fred A. May Jr.
I will do that. Text it to me later on that
Yeah,
I'll remember, mate.
yeah,
Because
and
hey, believe it or not, at this time in the morning I got Jack Daniels in this.
Oh my.
You didn't have to tell us, Terry.
No.
I don't care. I mean,
That's
Hey,
awesome.
listen. Hey, look, I'm 75 this year, guys. Hey, let me live my life to the max.
Woohoo.
You know what I mean?
That's
I mean,
great.
you get me out. I wake up at 5 this morning. Well, got out of bed at 4:45 this morning, and I've had my coffee, and I thought, well, I've had my breakfast.
That's great. So 1950, baby. Yeah.
Yes, I
1950.
am.
That's my mom.
Definitely.
My mom's 19.
21st of June. 21st of June.
I'm in a dead zone.
No, you're not.
If you're born in 1945, you're part of the greatest generation. But I'm not part of that
You
generation.
are,
I
it
was
is.
born in 45, and you didn't become a what the hell they call them?
Boomers?
Yeah, but yeah,
The
a
boomer?
baby boomer. That started in
Nice, before
40.
the-
That started if you were born in 46. So I was born before the war was over, but I didn't
Civil
have
War,
any
baby.
involvement in it. So there's a gap. There's a gap of about 8 months that if you're born in 45, you don't fit in any category. So
Aw.
That's
Again, you're unique.
That's how
That's
some
what
of us
No,
in the
Jim,
boomers
no.
are. Because
No,
my dad was in World
you're in
War
the.
II.
What
And
was your
then I
dad?
was born in 63. So I'm at the very end of what they consider the boomer, but I kind of cross over and I kind of feel more associated with the other age group beyond
Yeah.
us.
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, and I'm delighted to still be alive.
Actually, Jim, you're in what they call. Jim, you're in what they call the legend generation.
He's a
Oh.
legend.
Legend. I'm from-
I
It's a
like
new
that
one.
Hey, that's a good one. Now that's it. That's new. Okay, everybody. Jim's generation is the legend generation. Okay?
Perfect. Perfect. I
I'm the
can't keep
baby.
up with them all.
I'm the baby boomer. You know, what I mean, all these people that spent years at war, to come home all frustrated, looking at the wives with glitch in their eyes, and that I became a boomer. Yes, yeah, and Geryl, and he's the byproduct of the. What year were you born in, Geryl?
63. My dad was in World War II, so I'm a part of the boomer, but the very tail end of it.
Yeah,
Nin-
but
19
okay. You're the afterthought. He's the afterthought.
I was the accident, actually.
The accident.
Well, hey, tell me,
Aw.
hey,
Yeah.
do you know what we call accidents in Australia? People with lots of freckles, right? Because they were conceived through a handkerchief because they couldn't afford condoms.
Oh,
That's
There he is. There he is. There he is.
I didn't need that
I'm
thought in my
terrible.
head.
Sorry, guys.
Hi, Eric.
guys.
No, I love it.
My-
But you know what I
That's my
want?
sense of humor.
I love it. And hi, Eric, and hi, Mike Holt. Thanks for tickling that Facebook thing. Garyl and Jane, I haven't heard from you. That was a good question, Terry. I want to ask you: do you guys have a bucket list question? That any things on your bucket list that you want to share?
Well,
Do
I
you
mean,
have one?
just like what Jim was saying, we want to experience something with our own eyes up close. So we would like to go to a SETI or Mount Adams, maybe even Shasta to see what's out there. Personally, I would like to go to Japan versus Jim's China, because
Nice.
I don't know. There's something about Japan that I like, but as far as ancestral, I'd like to go over to the UK or Europe because my dad's family was from France, borderline between France,
Germany.
No, well, it was a little bit of Germany, but anyway, right there, France and England was Lorraine. The war.
You love Japan. You love Japan. I've been there.
So during the wars in France and England, always switched that border. So Lorraine was either in France or was in England, depending on who was claiming what territory. And my mom's side came from Sweden, so I'd like to hit up that way also if we were ever over in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
One-
a beautiful
one-
place.
one
Sweden.
addition-
I like
What about you?
Sweden.
Yeah. What about you,
Wait.
Jane? Are you?
I don't know if
Similar?
I have a bucket list.
You married him.
Yeah, I married him.
Yeah.
I've been going day by day and just trying to figure out this crazy world.
Her bucket
You know,
her
the-
bucket wish is for me to kick the bucket, I think.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Geryl, the only thing I find I didn't like about Japan's beautiful. It really is. It's gorgeous. The culture, the everything is wonderful. The only thing I didn't like about Japan was I'd say about 95% of restaurants will not serve foreigners, only Japanese people.
Really?
You're not serve what?
They will not
said
serve
foreigner.
foreigners, only Japanese people.
Really?
Oh,
it's
really?
part of
I
the
haven't
culture.
I have
Right?
never heard that.
wow.
Yeah, well, yep, that's true. It is true. You can Google it. That's a fact, Dave. But otherwise, that hotels and everything, all the hotels from their own restaurants and hotels serve foreigners and everything, and their courtesy and the customs is beautiful. Look, the gardens and the not just the gardens, but they're what they call it botanical gardens and their countryside's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely,
Well, they've been tending some of those for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard
it's an art
amazing
form.
things.
It's a total art form,
Mm-hmm.
And I have a
And
lot
clean.
of respect for I have a lot of respect for the Japanese culture, really do, especially when it comes to family respect, how they treat children, and how they make children clean up their schools rather than having maintenance people. They teach them the value of life, the value of a day's work, and the quality of life. And there's a lot going for the Japanese community, really. And when it comes to the health factor for their workers, they all do their exercises in the morning before they start work, and they do it as a group thing,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Heidi, you're hitting on the 1 hour and 32-minute mark.
I know. Is everybody okay? We'll do it on we'll start
Yeah.
bringing
I'll
it.
have to amend my bucket list. I think I want to meet up with Jim and we'll get on Interstate 80 and we'll do a cannonball run and all the way across the whole country.
Cannonball Run,
Listen, if you're going to do that, let me know when it happens. I will come and I will join you. I promise you, I will join.
Jane and I will
do the
follow.
cannonball run.
I have a two-person car. How are you going to join?
Yeah,
us?
You
How
can
you-
strap
cannonball, then
me
we'll
to
have
the
a
roof.
lunch.
Hey, put a roof rack on that, and you can strap me to it. I don't care. All that fresh air.
Well, Terry in the trunk.
Maybe we'll all have our own cars. We'll get Terry a car when he comes over and we'll
Yeah.
have a real cannonball
Hey.
run. We'll just chase each other all across the whole US.
I know we can't do it literally a cannonball up, but we can have a run. We can just all hire an RV that will fit us all and just cruise. Just cruise and have a great time. Sounds good to
run
me.
A big AMG Mercedes, 600
Sprinter? Big
series.
Sprinter?
Yeah.
Hey, my brother's
fancy
got
pants.
that. A big camper, Mercedes camper. He has.
I had the Dodge version of that. That was my
I
food
just
truck.
thought we'd
was
add
the
to the
Dodge
legend
version.
of Jim and be able to go across the US in record time and the fastest land speed on 80 or something. I don't know.
There you go. There
and
you
how
go.
many and how many speeding tickets and how many different states. I like.
Well, it's going to be like Smokey the Bandit. We're going to have a blocker.
Yeah. Now
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
probably
okay,
I'm
okay.
probably gonna get a speeding ticket tomorrow because of what I'm saying. I've been stopped once with my Corvette,
Once?
Only
That's
once?
it.
but I didn't get a ticket. It was here in the Oro Valley, which is a suburb of Tucson. I'm going up First Street or First Avenue. I come to a stoplight, and this guy in a dark cherry GT 500 Mustang pulled up next to me. Windows, I can't see who was in it. but the light goes green and we both take off, and I hammer it, but I try not to exceed the speed limit. And the car, the Mustang's right next to me, and all of a sudden he goes back, pulls me over. He said, I clocked you at, it's a 45 mile an hour speed zone. And so I clocked you at 56. I said, but I'm not going to give you a ticket. I says, I see you all the time out here, and you're always doing the speed limit. And said, you didn't squeal the tires. And I said, well, this is the car it's the car's fault. It's not mine. Well, we talked for about, about 5 or 6 minutes. And when I had a Holden, which is a, Australian part of General Motors. And I
drive a Holden. My car is a Holden Captiva.
Yeah. I had a 2006. SUV. I had a 2006 Pontiac GTO, and it was the small little light 2-door coupe with a 400 horsepower, 400 cubic inch V8. And I'm heading up to Phoenix from Tucson. I'm going up Interstate 10, and I always do 85. It's posted 75. I do 85, and they don't stop you. And I pull behind the guy in a van. He's doing 65. In the 75 zone in the fast lane. I flash my lights. He slows down. He stays right there. So I went out and I just hammered it. Well, I didn't realize it was a cop right behind me. I got to 96 when I left off. He put, the lights go on, and oh shit, I pull over. He gets out, and he said, "You know how fast you're going?" I said, "Well, the idiot was in the fast lane, not even doing the posted speed limit." I went around it and I just accelerated. You see, yeah, to 96. He said, I got a question. It says, your license plate says SR71A. Do you know anything about the Blackbird? I said, I know everything about the Blackbird.
Oh,
so we started talking. He said, well, I worked on F-22s when I was in the service at Holloman, and then joined the Arizona State Patrol. And we're just talking back and forth. And finally he says, well, try to keep it under 100, okay, between here and Phoenix. It was just fun, and I've been stopped multiple times, but I have not gotten a ticket because I'm suave and whatever.
Oh, Mr. Wonderful. Hey, Jim, I'll tell you something. It was back. What year? It was about 77 here in Western Australia. It was my birthday, and my brother says, well, I'll meet you up at the Waikiki Hotel in Waikiki. We have a Waikiki beach here, so we live in Western Australia.
Oh.
And I said, okay. So I went up there, they had nice music and everything, and I had a bit too much drink, and I said, oh, Paul, I'm going home, And on the way home, I was speeding, and the copper pulled me over, and he says, hey, you're speeding. And I says, oh, yeah, mate, sorry, mate. He says, do I smell alcohol? And he says, it's my birthday, blah, blah, blah. I'm just heading home. I need to go to bed. And he says, yeah, breathalyzer. He says, you're over the limit there. I says, okay. And he turned around and looked at me. And I just kind of looked at him and thought, yeah, well, listen, look, I didn't intend to get drunk, mate. Look, honestly, sorry, but I am going home. He says, don't worry, mate. He says, happy birthday. I'll escort you home.
Aww.
Didn't book me. Did not book me.
Wow.
That's true. And he escorted me all the way home, and I followed behind. He says, hey, you follow behind me. Don't run up me car. Don't run up. Don't bang me back in my car. Right? Yeah. But the worst one I've ever had.
There's some good ones out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You shouldn't have been driving, but anyway.
If you yell and scream at them and call them all sorts of profanity and everything else.
Right. Exactly. Then it could be worse. Yeah.
Do you know what? Back in those days in Western Australia, the coppers used to wear leather jackets, and they wear their caps up like that, and they look like friggin' Nazis. They really did.
Geez. Oh, jeez.
When they wear their caps up, hat up like that, No.
Right.
Like
yeah.
It's like the only thing that's missing is a monocle in her eye.
Oh my gosh.
And of course they all. I mean, in Western Australia, I mean, coppers or the police, not like British cops. In Australia, the police wear guns. They have that. They have a, they have a cannon
Yeah.
on their bloody hip. As far as I'm concerned, but
Yeah. I heard a story
you know,
recently.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yeah,
go
carry
ahead. Oh,
on.
no, I wanted to share something out here because I'm so nervous about my kids learning to drive, especially in LA. And I'm like, I wish it was like in Wisconsin where I was at 13 with a Suburban. Like you got to be off the beaten path. So anyway, my daughter has a classmate whose parents are separated. The dad is kind of in a rural area, 30 minutes away. And he's been teaching his son just the safety of a car. And he's like rural little town and off the beaten path. And the kid's 14. And so he's driving with him, but he taught him how to drive. Well, apparently, the boy had his hoodie up and drove with his dad and he was practicing. And all of a sudden the dad's like, oh boy. And the sheriff was coming. He looked at them and then he followed him and pulled him over. And he doesn't even have a permit. And so he's like, he didn't know how that would fly in this day and age. But the man said, I'm a local, this is my son. I just wanted him to safely learn how to do this. He's very close to getting his permit, like a week, and he really has 2 years or something.
Yeah.
But the man goes, oh yeah, I've seen you around, to the man. Like, he's a local. And he's like, yeah, you're cordial and nice. And that's what it takes. Kill him with kindness. But he goes, but he has his hoodie up. You got to teach him to not drive with the hood up. You not only, I think you look thug, but you can, your peripheral vision isn't very strong. Yeah. So they got away scot-free. And I'm like, that you don't hear enough stories that good stuff can happen too, when you get pulled over. And plus, I told my daughter, I'm like, I want you to get comfortable. That's a preparedness thing, an emergency. I want her to be able to be like in an emergency, know what to do to get in the car, even my little guy. So yeah, well, I'll have the kids drive me to you guys in Wisconsin, Illinois.
There you go.
Years ago, during a TV interview, the interviewer asked Mary Andretti what it was like to drive in LA. He said the only difference between the Indy 500 and the Los Angeles freeways, there's more cars on the freeway. He said,
it's crazy.
Oh, it is. I mean,
I think Chicago's the fastest. It was the craziest, but Chicagoans are good drivers. Here, I don't know. There's too many. A lot of singles, right? That's why they did the carpool lane. A lot of people by themselves driving, so there's clutter, but they really don't know where they're going or what they're doing. And then that first rainfall, forget about it.
I can't remember what interstate it is up there in Chicago, but I was on it and everybody was going 80 to 90 miles an hour. And it was almost bumper to bumper. And everybody was going that fast.
Yeah.
It was just like a smooth ride all the way through. I was surprised.
Well, I can remember going down the Ventura Freeway, going up through, going to Sherman Oaks. I'm in bumper to bumper traffic at 85 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. All someone has to do at the front, fart and loses concentration, you're gonna have a pile up.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the record pile up in California was in Orange County on I-5, where there was a 290 car pile up.
Wow.
It wasn't all of a sudden, back in the 50s, they would get what they call Thule fog. And all of a sudden you can't see you can't see the end of your hood.
Dangerous. So dangerous. Jim, you're getting some love here from Woo Rider. Well, Derek's sharing Jimmy Goodall, well known in the Jacksonville, Florida area. I've mentioned his name to some friends in the Navy who work on airplanes at NOS Jacksonville. He is a legend in aviation. Look at you.
Wow.
I have a love and a passion.
Oh God! Why do you have to say that? Now his head's going to bloody go. Whoa! Go on, guys.
Oh, there's the wife.
We love you, Jim.
Everybody.
Hey, Rosemary.
That's Heidi.
Hey, Rosemary. Hey.
That's Mr.
Nice to see you.
From Perth, and Geryl, and mine just went blank.
Yay! Nice to see you.
From Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois.
Oh, welcome to our computer, his computer. Arizona.
I know
Hey,
you're
Jim, you never told me she's such a beautiful lady, mate.
my son is asked me a long time ago, said, Dad, I said, Mom is a good looking woman. She used to be. And
Oh, you wanker. You wanker. I used to be. How
said-
dare you? How
said, Dad, he
dare
said,
you?
every woman I've ever seen you with, because I was divorced for a long time, he said, they're all good looking. I said, I may not be good at a lot of stuff, but I do have standards. So, no, I have.
You're
I
a legend.
yeah. All my wives have been gorgeous.
Aw. All my
Oh, yeah.
exes have been international.
I like the way he says,
You name the country.
Hey, Heidi, you look like, promise me one thing, Heidi. You've got to do
Yeah.
this again sometime.
Yes.
You've got to do this
absolutely.
again sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm actually having a ball of a time here with you guys. Really am.
And Terry, you got on at 6 a.m. Like that's so sweet. Thank you. You're cracking
Oh,
on.
it's
You're
fine.
here.
Hey. Early rise. I can go to bed later this afternoon and have a granny nap. You know? I mean, I've had
Have your naps.
Jackie to help me. You know?
With your background on, when you bring your cup up,
It's invisible.
Yeah, it's invisible.
My cup is green. That's a green screen. But
That one's
This
real.
year-
That's a good trick.
this year, this is my new baby.
oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I know you've heard my songs on YouTube, yeah, and I do play
Yeah.
them, and I do create music, believe it or not. That's one of my favourite
Yay.
pastimes. So I don't
Nice.
necessarily like when I'm bored. I don't necessarily say I'm going to go do a podcast. I'd rather sit in my room and quietly do some music.
Do music. So
Yeah,
not just AI. You're
I
making
find-
the music too yourself.
Yeah, and
That's beautiful.
and it's also therapeutic for me, you know. But
I wish.
some of the songs I've actually written, I've actually put it to AI music, and it comes out totally different, which sounds good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the original version is also, I feel in my heart, it feels good too. So, but man, one day I'll
Good.
play them for you. I'll play them
Yes.
for you live one day. So
Perfect. Will you do it live on here?
Another day, another story. Yeah,
That'll
I'll
be
do it
another live.
for
We'll
you
do
on there.
another live. We'll throw it on there.
Do it. Yeah,
Well-
yeah, but you know, I'm an old muso from way back. You know, I've actually played with a big band once many years ago, back in the early '70s. Actually, I was on leave from the army, and I got a call from the old agent. Says, "Hey, are you available?" And I said, "You available for what?" He says, "Well, apparently there's a band in Manchester. It's got a big going on at Manchester University, and he told me the name of the band, and he says, "Do you know the music?" I said, I'm pretty kind of, I know their music, but I'm not kind of 100%. And he told me, no, it's okay. Send me the music sheets. I don't read music very well. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't read music very well. But I'm very accomplished at that time with all the chords and everything. And I just kind of said, okay, send me a minute. And I looked at it and I said, okay, yeah, okay, but let's see what I do. So I had apparently about 15 hours before the actual show to do a run through with them, and I accomplished. And they told me, Terry, sit at the back in the shadows. We don't want people to see it because apparently
You don't want to scare people
Yeah.
away.
No, well, apparently the rhythm guitarist kind of OD'd, you know, and and they were he OD'd, and you'll see. You'll see.
Holy
He was all right,
smokes.
didn't die, and it was a very popular band of the day internationally, you know. So
Midnight
I
Oil.
won't mention a name,
Yeah.
but
Wow. Dang.
AC/DC.
You see?
no. They actually played what they call space rock of the period, right? And one of the things they used to happen, if anybody knows, been to their concert, they'll see a Pegasus come up on the screen.
Oh.
Okay.
I think, yeah. It's That's a big to do, huh?
Pegasus will come up on a screen and projection.
I think I
Okay, I'll tell you the name of the band. It's called Auquin.
Oh,
What was it?
Auquin. You
maybe I
Google it.
haven't heard of it. No, yeah, we'll Google it.
Auquin. And anyway, there was space rock. And I did one show with them. I didn't actually put it blunt. I got through it, but I didn't play very well at all. I
Oh,
really did.
so you say.
But hey,
But that's what an
nobody,
experience.
hey, nobody could tell any of it. It's only because I went out a bit rhythm every now and then, you know. Anyway, I got paid for it. That's the important thing. That's it was an experience of a lifetime. But one of my favourite experiences was where I actually stood in as a compere at a place called the Domino Club in Manchester. A friend of mine called Bobby Day, he was sick, he had laryngitis and everything. He says, I'll come with you, but he says, I can't do my show, you know, can you do the compere show? And I says, yeah, okay. And I was on home leave from Bielefeld, Germany. I was in the British Army. And I say, yeah, I went along and I said, who's the guest, who's the top line tonight? They says, you're going to laugh here, guys. I mean, you might laugh. You'll be, and it wasn't. They says it's Roy Orbison's the show on tonight.
Aw.
I
That's
said,
nice.
you're kidding.
That's a nice
You
story
really
to wrap this all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and
d-
actually, look, just keep it short. He gave me a guitar at a coffee shop, place called the Golden Egg in Manchester, in England, and it was a Rickenbacker guitar. He gifted it to me. While we were having
that's
over
really
coffee.
cool.
A
nice.
really nice man. A really, really, really nice man. It's the first time and the last time I met him.
Well, that's beautiful. That's kind of like what you were saying before, to circle it back to Doc Skinner. What did he say? Like inspire to what was the saying you said? We need to lift each other.
Aspire to inspire. Lift each
Aspire
other
to
up.
inspire each other. So someone gifted you
Right,
that
yeah.
guitar, and look what it did. Yeah, we all got to,
Yeah.
we can all take a few notes from that and be our best human selves and inspire others. And Jim, you're inspiring a bunch of kiddos, just so you know. Your book circulated. There's a little boy who does take aviation classes, and he knew of you, and his mom
Aw.
saw me and you online once, and she's like, oh my gosh, you know. And I go, yeah. And so I brought your book to school to show him, and the fact that you wrote something to me in it, I'm like a celebrity there now.
Aw.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
his
sweet.
name is
I tell you what,
Mm-hmm.
you send me his name and his address, I will send him a B2 book.
Oh,
Jim.
Oh, wonderful,
That's so
Jim.
sweet.
He would love that. If you ever
Hey,
roll through,
hey,
to
Jim.
yeah.
What about me? What about me, you bugger?
You know what it would cost me to mail
Now
it
I'm
to the other
jealous.
side of the planet?
Hey,
That's so
I'll
cool.
pay for it.
Thank
Don't you worry, mate. I'll send you a personal check. Actually, I'll pay it directly into your bank account, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah. No,
Oh
I'm,
my goodness, that's sweet. Thank you.
I'm serious. I
will. I absolutely will.
I would be tickled to do that.
That'd be
Aw.
amazing. And he's just one of
That's
those
wonderful.
boys, like there's many of them, but he is focused, he's driven, he's inspired, and he's just so good to others. So what a wonderful thing for him to share, being a good
That's
human.
awesome.
Yeah, isn't that
so
cool?
Sweet.
Yeah, I love it. See, we're all leaving on the high notes. We are
Yeah.
going to wrap it up now. So
Now you're all
Geryl,
crying.
I know. Here goes the mascara. And Geryl Jane, so you have Rumble tonight. You got a movie tonight. You got
No,
you did it.
no. Today's
Oh,
Thursday.
what's today? Thursday,
No, tomorrow-
Friday. Yeah.
Day after.
We have Jessica Jones next. She's on in about 5 minutes. So maybe y'all say hi in the chat over there. But when will we see you next? And who do you have this weekend? You did a theory one
Actually,
yesterday with
we'll have Friday, Saturday for our creepy movie night on Rumble, and then Sunday we have Greg House from Woodwalker, so we'll be talking Bigfoot experiences, and then Wednesday we will have Paul Stobbs, right?
Yeah, Paul Stobbs from the UK, and we'll have another 2:00 in the afternoon show, and it'll be 8:00 over in the UK.
That'll be
Excellent.
Nephilims.
Yeah, Nephilims look like clowns.
Wow.
So all the creepy clowns that we've had
Yeah.
through history.
History of clowns and where they all came from. It's very interesting.
I hope Newsom's one of them.
A way to throw our
Sounds
governor
freaky
into
to
the
me.
mix. too,
Sounds
so.
freaky to me.
And I'll use-
Great seeing you, Jane. Great seeing you, Geryl.
Yeah, it's great seeing you too, Terry.
I love that. That's
And you too,
And
Jim, the
you-
great
I
one.
know, Jim. Jim,
I
the
bet
legend.
you
The,
and
le-
me did,
the
Jim.
legend. The
The
great one.
Where are you
listen,
next,
guys.
Jim?
I love you guys. I really do. Love you guys very
Aw,
much.
we love you too.
We love you too, Terry. Yeah.
And we know Jim's going to be on Andy's show here in a few weeks too in the UK.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
D-Codes, Alien
Yeah.
8UK, Mr.
Alien
D-Codes,
8
right?
UK.
Woohoo.
I'm gonna be on with Dolly and Preston on the 28th of April and Dustin on May 9th.
Okay.
And
Hey, do us a favor, Jim. Will you tell Preston I said hello to him?
no,
Jim, you're a wanker. Don't do that to me.
Aw.
I got you.
I know you will. I know you will. I know you will. Say, hey, Mr. B said, get out here.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I
And,
know you will.
So you got some shows coming
Actually,
up
I'm
here.
going to
Terry-
text Preston. I'm going to text Preston. I'm going to tell him what kind of a person you really are.
Yeah, Jim for the win. Huh? Thank you, Blazer.
Yeah, I love you, mate.
And
You know
Terry,
that.
we'll catch you online, and whenever you get your, maybe you'll have another Mr. B Truth Seeker coming up,
I'm
or
going to
Mr.
have
B
one.
and friends.
I'm going to have a show very shortly, actually, with Jim and with
Michael?
Yeah, Michael.
Michael Schreck.
Schreck.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What part two?
Part two. Perfect.
Hey,
Yeah,
much
and one-
excuse me, you know. Yeah.
One other thing, Mike. Like I said, Michael is relocated to Albuquerque, and he is. I don't know the gentleman's name, but he has the largest collection of UFO materials, photograph, video, everything.
Awesome.
The largest
Wow.
collection,
Wow.
probably in the world.
Wow.
And Michael is going to spend the next 3 to 9 months scanning all his documents, photos, and everything.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
huge.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he did that with Dr. Greer. He did that for every day for 18 months. He had, and he just load up. He has a PDF scanner. He just load the pages up. And he just zips through, searchable
That's
through with by name of anything you're looking for. And he's putting that database together. So it's going to be pretty
When I
phenomenal.
When I actually spoke to Michael the other day with you, Jim, I did ask him to send me anything he finds significant to me. So just remind Mike. Just
I know.
remind
Here-
Michael. Say Jerry's expecting those emails.
Yeah.
Here's something significant, and congratulations again, Mr. Goodall, for your Minnesota Aviation
Yes,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
Congratulations, mate. Couldn't happen to a better man, mate.
Yay.
Couldn't happen to
Thank
a
you.
better man.
Yeah, that's
No,
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for being kind gentlemen
you.
and gentle ladies and
Kind?
friends, really. Kind, yes.
Heidi, any
Absolutely.
if anytime you need, if I'm I'm retired, so I'm almost always available. But if you ever need a talking head at any time, let me know. And Geryl, same
Will
with
do.
you. Terry,
Okay.
not so much.
That's
you,
a lie,
Jim.
Jim. You know that's a lie. You know that's a lie, mate.
That's awesome. Oh, you gave us a hot potato there, Derek. I think Bauer said that earlier about this interview. We'll have to check that out when we
Yeah.
get off here.
Thank you
but
for having me on.
Thank you for
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me
it was-
on there.
It was an
Lovely
enjoyable
being with
2
you.
hours.
of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heidi.
I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for all of you. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for our planetary friendships and the works. You always have a home in LA if anyone ever wants to come. Otherwise, I'll see you at yours because it's fun to leave LA.
You
too
regret
once in a
it. You
while.
regret it.
Can we bring our goats?
Yes, we need some.
Yeah.
Jane will be happy with the weed killer, natural weed killer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you guys, and thank you, chat, for chiming in and hanging out. Clay, thank you very much, and Woo and Derek. We'll Bo's timing. We'll check out that interview. It sounds like there's some presidential advisor has came out with new UFO materials in his hand. Oh, so the plot is thickening.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
ready,
thanks for
Lou?
having us.
Yeah.
And Jim,
Of
Terry, it was
course.
great seeing you guys. And we'll have to
Yes.
hang out
It is
again.
great, guys.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Great.
Sounds
We'll
great.
see you all soon. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. And I'll
Love
say
you
goodbye.
all.
1 sec.